Hi, I'm Jake, aka TheBreakfast, with AYBOnline, and I'm here with Joel from Cloudhead Games, and we're going to talk about Call of the Starseed, the gallery. So, what can you tell me about the gallery?
The Gallery is a made for VR fantasy exploration adventure game that we've been working on for a few years now. And Call of the Starseed is the first episode of the game. There's going to be 4 episodes. So that's kind of what we're showing off today for the first time at PAX. And yeah, we're super excited to be here.
All right, so one of the major features that I noticed when I was trying it is the blink feature. So, what can you tell us about the blink feature and its inception, how you came up with it, what kind of problems it solves, and what kind of problems you encountered in developing it?
Yeah, sure. So when we started working with the Vive, it was kind of last November. Started working with Valve and a bunch of other companies to make demos for GDC, and we were very focused on like making a room scale game or demo that was just took place in one room. That was kind of our focus, just to get used to room scale. So we didn't really tackle the whole like how do you move further into the world problem. When we got back from GDC, we kind of sat down and said, okay, now how are we going to get around? And previously, we'd just been using like the kind of traditional FPS controls where you're pushing forward. Doesn't really work in the Vive for a whole bunch of reasons. But so we kind of threw that out and said, okay, we got to come up with a new solution. Valve had done some really interesting work on teleporting, and we'd seen a couple other things that kind of kicked us off in that direction. We tried 4 or 5 completely different locomotion styles. We just kind of had 2 weeks where we just like threw it all at the wall and just tried to see what worked. And it was pretty clear after that this system was really going to be something that was usable. Like it was rough, but we were like, okay, I think if we build systems around it and kind of change the game design a little bit so that it works well with it, that we thought it could actually make for a really compelling way to play games in VR. So yeah, for the last kind of 3 or 4 months, we've just been working on that. Well, not just that, but it's been a big focus, and we're kind of finally at a place where we feel like it's working, and so we're showing it off. And yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, well, I usually get really bad motion sickness from VR games, so I really appreciate that work. I actually just finished playing the demo, and I'm feeling absolutely no queasiness, so I can attest it definitely works. I had an interview earlier with White Lotus Games. They're making Zing. They mentioned that one of the components of their locomotion actually was made in collaboration with you guys. So, what can you tell me about the VR community, the VR development community, and how you guys have helped them, how they've helped you?
Yeah, the White Lotus guys are cool. We've known them for a while. They're making another like kind of Myst-esque exploration game, so we have a lot in common. I think he's probably referring to the comfort mode, like the quick turns. I'm guessing that's what he was referring to.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah. So yeah, we developed the comfort mode rotations. That was like last year sometime, or maybe even a year and a half ago, to kind of combat that main sickness issue, which was always due to rotation. Like that was the worst thing about VR for like the DK1 and DK2, right? Was actually like rotating left and right was like really really brutal. So we back then we were trying to solve that problem, and we kind of looked at like how dancers handle nausea and spin when they're spinning, and like they basically like kind of do something called spotting, which is where they like kind of pick a point, and then they spin their body, and then right at the end of the spin they kind of spin their head really quick. So they kind of wait, and then they do like a really fast rotation right at the end. And there's like something in our brains where if you do a fast enough rotation, your brain just kind of like shuts off and doesn't really like register it or something. And but anyway, we just tried this as a solution because it was clear that it was making people sick, and it seemed to work quite well. So it actually got put into the Oculus SDK. The guys at Oculus put it in because it was like pretty effective, and a lot of games seem to use it now. So I think that's what he's referring to.
Oh, okay. So you guys have been working on this for the Oculus as well, then?
Yeah. We originally started on the DK1, and we were using like Razer Hydras to do motion control. And um, to be honest, like we were always just kind of hoping that a platform like the Vive would emerge, because it was pretty clear to us that like VR needed to go in that direction to really be VR. And so we kind of just naively were moving towards that direction, just hoping that the hardware problems would get solved. And we were getting a little worried there last year, and then at some point Valve called us in for like a secret meeting and showed us the Vive, and it was like, oh my god, they're doing it! Like it's like everything we wanted. It's perfect tracking and room scale, and it just solved a lot of the really tough problems. Like that comfort mode solution isn't an issue in the Vive because you just physically rotate, right? Because you're already standing up. So, yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much, and it's been a pleasure. Thank you for letting me try. And yeah, again, this is called the Starseed on the Vive, and from Cloudhead Games.
It'll be a launch title for the Vive. We're not entirely sure exactly when it'll all happen, but we're going to be out when the Vive comes out.
Okay. And thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. Thanks for watching.